Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you a video tutorial of Accolyst. So in this screen, you can log in with the credential that you have. By default, you will get admin as username, admin as password. So can you use and log in? So you log in, you can see a desktop of Accolyst. You can see all these menus or transaction that is fully customizable. So you can remove, you can add new, and you can customize your own desktop on Accolyst. The left top corner, you can see a menu where you can see all the master's transaction report and settings. So from here, you can add new shortcuts to your desktop. Simply right click and click add, and you can see it is added. If you want to remove, simply you can remove any shortcut you want. So frequently using shortcuts or frequently using transaction reports, anything you can add on your desktop for easy access. Go back to the full menu. So here we have different categories. So you can either search the menu by the name by typing here, or you can choose your category here. So if you click all, you can see everything in one screen. So let's talk about masters, where we can create your masters like party, supplier, bank, products, all these things before doing any transaction. So first let's open master supplier. So here you can create your supply from where you're purchasing. So the code is automatic. You can simply type your supply. For example, this is all we need in order to start a transaction. Example, purchase invoice. All other are optional. If you want to add more information of your supplier, you can fill this, including the document. If you want to attach any document, you can attach for further reference. Here we have other details where you can add more information of your supplier, transaction details for more information like wholesale, retail, credit limit, release, all these things. Of course, you can attach image as well. So anytime you can create a supplier and you can search for it by code or supplier name, double click and edit, delete, everything will goes. The same concept goes for party, same structure. You can create your customer here. Simply type the name, add more information like shipping details, transaction details, and any particular other details for this customer. So you can attach images. So anytime you can search, you can modify it, you can delete it, it is possible. Similarly, you can create bank. If you have different bank, you can simply type your bank name, enable merchant account. It will enable you to do the transaction like payment receipt with the bank. You can simply create multiple bank account if you want to. Other than this ledger, if you want to create more, like any kind of ledger, including asset, liabilities, expense, income, everything you can create. So when you install the software, you will get all default account groups and ledgers. Example, you will get cash account, purchase account, sales return, etc. So if you want to create more, simply type here, for example, expense. Let's consider fees expense or staff expense, food expense, any expense or income or any asset, a liability, just type the name and choose your parent group. My example is indirect expense. I'm saving it under indirect. So there is no restriction. Any ledger you can create to any under any parent group, and you can save, you can modify later, you can edit it, whichever you create. And account group, you can create different account group. For example, software automatically create account groups for you. If you want to create something more, you can create it under any parent group, which already ready. Simply type the account group name, new account group name, and you can select the parent group. If you want to create a product or product group, this is it. You can type a group, for example, say tricks. You can attach image if you want to. And if you don't have a group, there will be a master. You have to save it under the main groups. If you want to create a product, click on the product creation windows. This is it. Here you can create a product. Considering the product, if you want to enable units or anything, go to the settings, use settings button here, enable unit, batch, or anything regarding the product you can enable from the settings. Once you enable, click OK. Now go to the product again, you can see unit. And if you want to add VAT or any taxes, you can enable it. Simply type VAT here. So like this, you can create, including your purchase type, sales type, unit wise rate, rate edit, everything you can enable, including the free issue, receipt, etc. So you can enable whichever settings you need, and you can use the transaction. Again, going to the product side. Well, if you want to add a VAT to your product, of course, you need to create it under slab. Here you can create a slab. For example, you want to add a VAT, for example, by 5%. This is the name actually you have to choose, and you have to choose your financial period. Now you can type the value here. If it is inclusive, you can enable inclusive. Of course, you can so once you create it, go to the product again. Now here you can see the code. This is your barcode. If you want to add your existing correct barcode, simply type the existing correct barcode or you can scan. Or software automatically generate a random code for you and it will generate automatically. The last digit will increment actually for the next product. So this is the barcode. You can add a different barcode if you want. You can use international barcode if you want to add 16 digit, a big lengthy barcode. Both will identify the same product. For example, I create a software as a group. Now I'm creating something like say 100 ml as a name, and you can use description if you want to mention anything further. Like if you want to change the language, go change your language on your keyboard, like keyboard language, and you can type the language here. If it is Arabic, there is automatic conversion. It automatically picks. It's use Google Translator. You should have internet. Or you can type it if you have Arabic keyboard or any other language. Any language input is possible in Accolyst. You can select your group. There is active inactive option, non-stock item option, weighing scale for POS like vegetables, fruits, etc. Favorite item for POS. You can mention minimum limit, maximum limit, reorder, etc. When it is below 10, it shows is minimum. It's below 15 to 10, it is reorder. It's maximum 20, it shows maximum. You can type the purchase rate. Either you can use manual sales rate or you can use profit. For example, 20 percentage automatically calculate and it will show you the new sales rate. Or else you can type manual if you don't want to use by profit. You can type MRP and there is minimum sales rate. You can fix minimum sales rate that your employees cannot sell this product beyond this. Next one is unit. You can type unit. Different product have different units, of course. In my example, this product have, let's say, numbers. This is what I frequently selling to my customer. I also have additional unit for the product, which is box or cartoon, whatever it is. So you can calculate in a single box number of uh, product numbers. Actually, maybe it's 12, maybe it's 20. This depends upon you can type it under CF automatically calculates the box rate, and of course numbers rate is already here. So it will identify and calculate. Multiply with this, and you can see. You can edit this, of course, when you enable unit wise rate edit. You can add barcode if you want a different barcode for your additional unit. So for a single product, you can add for different additional unit. Here you can choose the default unit for purchase, sale, in reports. So you can set all these in the unit tab. Of course, you can use both box and numbers anytime, purchase or sale. There is no restriction. Slabs. Here you can choose your slab, whichever you enable. In my case, I enable VAT. You can choose VAT percentage. If it is none, you can simply select none. Select 5% here. It will affect 5% for your product. When you try to do a transaction like purchase sale, it will automatically pick the VAT percentage and it will show you the VAT. Finally, the user field. You can type any information of your product, anything like category, like color, shape, whatever you need to identify when you do the transaction, you can see. Also, it will appear on your print format if you design so. So we have 1 to 10 user fields, which is fully customizable. You can rename each of your field. For example, when you go to the settings, here you can see display. Here you can change any word into any of your preferred field, like color, shape, whatever you need, you can change it. For example, color. Now, when you go to the masters on the product again, user field, you can see the color. So like this, you can create your product by customizing it. If you want to edit any of your products, you can do both ways, like clicking the product here, edit it, and change anything. Or search by name or all these criteria here, double click, edit, delete. Even you can add image if you want to. It is possible. Edit your company information. You can use company here. You can change your company name, address, country, of course. If you want to change it, you can change into anything and it will reflect the currency. It is preloaded. Now here you can change number of decimals. You can see the transaction and number of decimal in quantity also. So you can update. You can add logo for your company, of course, VAT number, all other details. Whenever you need, you can edit. Financial period here, you can search for the existing financial period. If it is outdated, you can correct it like this, 24, 25. If you want to extend it, no problem. It will generate based on ending date. So in my example, I'm choosing 25. Okay. Or else some of the customer using year wise. So 24 here, 2024 I created. Now I can log in with this financial period. If I want to create something like this year wise, then it is also possible. You just need to generate and you can see it is possible. So in this year 2024, I'm using this only. Later, if I want, I can create one more like 2025. And what will happen? All the closing stock, closing balance, everything will automatically transfer from 31st December 24 to the next year automatically. You don't need to do anything, just create a new financial period. So once you modified it, log out. Now you can see financial period. If you have more, you can choose one by one. In my case, it is 24 right now. Logging in. Moving on. If you want to add batch for your product, this is it. You can click on batch. You can select your product, either scanning or typing. You can type the batch name. For example, if you already have a batch name on your product, you can use the same name and you can use the manufacturing date, expiry date, and normally all the rates, everything will be loaded automatically. If you want to edit, you can edit and save. So at the time of purchase and sale, you can choose the created batch. So the next one is employee. If you want to create employees, unlimited employees can create with this window. Let's say salesman. You have to choose a salesman here from the employee type. And if you want him to give the credentials to log in with the system, then you have to choose user role. So let's say inventory manager. You can fill all of the details, including the image if you want to. That's it. So once it's done, you can use login user and you have to select the user role and the employee list will automatically appear here. You can choose your salesperson, you can type his credentials, username and password, you can change at any time, of course. and you can enable supervisor if you are providing him more privilege, or else you can skip this part and you can save this. So yes, you can log in with his credential. So let's try. Simply you can type and log in. So that's how we can create masters before doing any transaction. So let's start the transaction. First one is opening balance, where you can see you can change the voucher number if you want. You can select the date. You can choose your ledger. Any ledger you can add opening balance. For example, if you want to add something like you can amount, comments if you want to mention, and any other ledger if you want to, you can choose. If you press F12, you can see all the lists. You can search either the code, ledger code, name, mobile number, contact person. So you can choose your ledger and you can add the amount. So if you want to adjust your accounts like the debit and credit, you can use this one. You can type your journal entry, for example, here, cash account, debit, capital, credit, comments, everything stays like you can change the voucher number, voucher date. You can add remark if you want to. You can add account if you want to create new accounts from here. Moving on, opening stock. Here you can add your opening stock. The structure is same like the voucher number, voucher date. You can change anytime. So here you can choose your product. You can select the batch if you want to, and the unit, of course, if you can increase the quantity. Okay, so it will increase the quantity of your depot. Now, if you want to adjust your stock, like the physical stock in actual stock, you can use excess and shortage. Most of the cases, you can do it here and like adjusting your stock. You can simply type your product, for example. You can choose your product. Now you can see my stock. If you want to increase it, you can use excess, which we open right now. You can choose your unit and you can increase it by, for example, 2000 maybe. There we go. So that you can update your physical, by considering the physical stock, you can update your software stock. And this is to reduce the same. Select the product, select the batch, the unit, and you can decrease it. So whichever you need, and you can type like this, and you can update. Moving on, purchase invoice. So this transaction, of course, you enter it based on purchase bill you receive from your supplier. Of course, you can change your voucher number. You can choose your supplier. If you want to create a new supplier from here itself, you can click plus here, and you can add new supplier. Now here you can select your depot, purchase account, voucher date, anything you can change. You can add more information to your supplier's bill reference number and reference date. You can add remark, of course. You can select purchase type. We're good to go to select the product. You can either scan the product or you can type. Here you can scan the product with the code, and here you can type the product, either with the name or code, of course, or international part. Let's select it. You can choose your batch. If you want to increase a batch stock, then you can choose that unit and you can increase the stock. If you want to edit the rate, here it is. Just double click and edit because we enable the settings. It pick the VAT percentage automatically because we set VAT percentage while we create the product. Now here, simply you can make the payment if you want to handle the payment at the time of purchase invoice itself. You can choose any mode or multiple. No. So you can choose your mode like cash. For example, this is my cash payment on this bill. As you can see, the balance changed. Payment 1000 and the balance. The rest I can handle by debit card. I can type for reference and I can select the card and full amount maybe. It's like this. So this is simply you can do a purchase invoice. And yes, if you want to attach anything in the purchase invoice, like soft copy, then simply you can press F3 or you can simply click the button. You can attach, you can scan, or you can capture. Three different attachment, image, PDF, anything. Now here you can use your more info of this purchase invoice, anything like a note or something. If you want a bigger one, use this. So like this, we can add purchase invoice. And whatever rate you changed here, for example, 124 to 125, maybe. So if you want to update this rate to your product, then just enable this and save. The next time you can see 125 when you select the product in the purchase invoice. Simply save it. That's it. You can see the history if you want, search for it. You can see the previous invoices, double click. If you want to modify it, you can edit, you can print it. If you set the format, you can delete. Also, you can see whether it is fully paid or partially paid, etc. Moving on, purchase return. Here you can use purchase return. You have two methods. Whether you can select your supplier and simply the product without the bill reference. Of course, you can type the quantity, the rate, etc. And you can save in order to reflect the account and also the inventory. We can also do something like we can select your supplier, click the purchase invoice. You can see all the purchase invoice from the supplier. You can filter it based on watch number, purchase, supplier name, reference number, etc. So this is my purchase, recent purchase. So I can choose all the product, or if I want to select particular product, then I can enable. I can select like this. Even I can, reduce quantity. For example, out of 20, I'm returning. So I can just call it just like this. So when I save this, of course, it will reflect the inventory and the ledger automatically. Of course, miscellaneous is here. Everything will be called because we call the purchase invoice. So whatever we done there, like the notes, all these things, it will capture. It will fetch from there. And you can take a print, of course. So, all right. Now, if you want to add opening stock, any case, you can just add it, just like I said. The next one is POS. After purchase, of course, we can do some transaction, using POS, the sale. So this is it. This is the interface. It's a more easy and fast way you can bill to a customer. So here we have a barcode. So whenever you click new, the cursor will be always on the barcode. So you can simply scan the product code, well, the barcode, of course, and it will add to the grid. So we have three methods for that. This is the barcode scanning, or if you want the normal way, like using your keyboard, you type the product name or code. This is it. So you can double click and you can add like this. All right. So the third method is simply using the touch screen, the button. It's very easy if you select the product group here and it lists all the product here. If this is not enough for your product to fill, then you can simply drag and adjust your size of your product group. Anyway, adding this is simple. Simply click it. You can see the product here. And here is the button where you can increase, decrease the quantity, of course. And if you want to remove anything from the grid after adding, this is it. Simply click and remove. So consider if you have more product here, like number of rows, more than which we can see on the screen. If you want to search, here it is. You can either search by code or name, which you already added. Just to confirm if you added or not, you can just use this. Now there is a return mode where you can return product from the bill itself, like negative quantity. You can adjust your grand total. So once you add the product, if you want to mention a return, you can simply click it. You can see the return mode is enabled. Now, whatever you added, for example, if I add one more, you can see minus quantity, which means it will adjust on your grand total. So like this, you can do the return here. And we have many more options like here. If you want to make this a credit sale, click here, search for it, or you can select a credit customer. It is possible. And here we have more option where you can see more features in POS. First one is cache drawer. If you want to open drawer, you can simply type if you want to open manually. If it is automatic, of course, when you save this invoice, it will print and automatically it will open cache drawer for you. But this is manual already. So you can type your admin password and you can open it. So here you can see the tax details, the quantity, gross discount, whatever we adding in detail. And here we have price checker without affecting the row or the product we added. If you want to check price in between, this is it. You can scan the product or you can use normal product searching option here. You can see all the information. Now we have various scale where you can add various scale in your POS by using all these settings. It's easy. You can give the post characters, product code length, all these things in order to configure. When you scan the product from the various scale barcode, it will identify the product, the quantity, the rate, amount, etc. Now, search bill is to take your bill. Maybe previous one, you can choose your from date and to date. You want to adjust, you can select type. If you want to use type wise or all, you can choose here and you can double click in order to show it here. Now, payment option. So, like I said, we have cash payment, cash here. If you want to make the payment, for example, let's do a fresh bill, increase the quantity, and for 50.4. So, if you want to receive a quick cash, here it is. Simply click and type the amount 54. I'm collecting total in cash. I can use the number pad if I am using a touch screen. And so if you want a denomination here, you can add your own denomination. For example, 10 value is 10. Now let's add a few more, like 50, the value is 50. Yeah, you can see here. So whatever you're collecting, like 50, it will add 10, it will add like 110 total amount. This is the balance you need to give to the customer. So like this, you can add your own denomination here. It is possible. Now, other than this, we have card here. If you want to collect both in cash and card, like partial, full, something like that, you can just type them on here and you can select your card, which type you need. And of course, you can select your bank. If you have multiple bank, it is possible. And of course, card number is here. Other than this payment, you have more here. So you can use cash, check, whatever you need. Okay, you will open and will enter same. So it is possible to handle more payments in POS. We have sales return. For example, if you have a bill, the customer, let's make it 150 maybe. Okay, 201. So if you have a return and you can adjust this return to this particular bill by using sales return. So you can see based on the customer, you can see the voucher number. You can search by voucher number. You can double click and you can see it will adjust. 50.40 was my return and I'm adjusting the grand total. And now the balance I need to receive is 151.2, which means I only need to collect that. So we can adjust the sales return to the POS. Now we have hold option where you can hold your customer for a while and you can do the rest of the transaction. Later, when the customer is ready, you can retrieve them without losing their product. So you can retrieve it. So both have shortcut like F6 and F7. Finally, we have POS report. So based on the salesperson or sales type or period from and to, you can check the report as well. Just like this, you can see total cash, total sales, and the information. Now, for the header part here, you can see you can change your salesperson or you can create new one. You can select your depot if you have multiple, and you can select your sales type if you want to. Of course, the date you can change. It is possible. Now let's try to do a transaction, simple transaction by collecting the amount, let's say 50.4. Now you can print it, it's automatically saved As you can see, it automatically save and print if you set the format. If you want to reprint it, select your bill by using the search option, or you can simply click up and down key. Okay. Or you can select, you can print, you can delete, and you can modify it, and you can update. So that's how you can use POS. Here we have a settings where you can log in with admin and you can see more options here using barcode, print while saving. Even you can connect your poll display, secondary display, all these settings you can use. You want to configure poll display, this is it. You can input the information, it will display. So that's POS. Now, if you want to make a return from POS, you can simply open sales return here. You can choose your customer. So most of the cases I use cash account without any customer name. So I can click POS and I can select, even I can enter the quantity if I want to change, and I can call, I can update. It will affect the account and inventory as well. Generally, if you want to receive cash, you can choose your cash account. You can, of course, add more cash account from chart of account. You can choose your cashier, the voucher number, a date, command, everything is there. You can select your customer, maybe. You can see the old balance and collect. You can add the remark, pending payment or something else. You can just save it. Also, you can print if you save it. Now, bank receipt. It's different from cash receipt because we have bank here, and also we need to select something else. Let's say the customer again. So here you can choose the instrument type. Let's type 200 here. Now here you can choose your debit card, check, whatever you need. Let me select online banking without anything. I can simply save it. I can print if I need. So it will receive to your bank account. The same concept goes for cash payment and bank payment, of course. You can choose your account, it will be deducted from your cash account. The same concept goes for cash payment as well. Move on to the reports. So these are the reports available in Accolyst. Here you can see ledger if you want to see your statement of account of any ledger. For example, your customer. Let's choose customer here. You can either select group or all if you want to see everything in one. So in my case, I'm selecting a ledger. You can choose your period from the template, or you can select the from and to, including time. You can choose. So let's preview. You can see all these debit, credit, the balance, everything here. So here we have few reports like purchase invoice report, VAT report, purchase return. You can check VAT report based on this, detailed, summarized, or sort by any. You can see total payables here. Let's take a POS report, detailed, summarized. Let's say detail. You can see detailed report. So any report you can export to Excel, PDF, Word, simply clicking, choose your location. So you can print it and call the filter option of it. So these are the report. Let's take a stock list where you can see all your stock. Select all, preview it. Or you can use stock level. Let's say balance sheet. Details summarize. Let's calculate. You need to calculate if you have any stock, and you have to preview it if you want to see it. Just like this. So the P&L, calculate monthly, yearly, whichever you need, you can show it. So you have different method for each report for the final accounts report. For example, the vertical format, if you want to see vertical, this is it. The balance sheet, everything you can use. Now this is a profit report where you can choose your product or bill wise if you want to. I'll check your profit report. Just like this. For each voucher, it shows the profit. Because we select bill wise. It is product wise, you can search by product group or party wise, sales account wise, or salesman wise is also possible. Moving on to the settings side, here we have settings where we can enable, disable all the settings for your actual list. Here we have decimal where you can update your decimal numbers for your transaction, which you can see here. The variables, if you want to set anything like ignore, warning, for example, negative stock, if you want to set a warning, here it is. You can select one based on the hint here, or you can block it by using fill. So here we have negative stock, credit limit, sales rate less than purchase rate. So all you can use by considering the hint, you can adjust the rest. Display where you can change the user field of the transaction and the product, of course. Other where you can add more decimal in your report for your quantity, amount, so on. And of course, if you are using a batch, if you are to take batch rate, you have to use product batch. Now, these are the global settings. Whatever you updated here, it will reflect if you have multiple systems connected with the server, of course. So there is a local setting where you can see two different heads. Whatever you updated here, it only reflect on that particular system. For example, a salesman on this particular system is salesman one. Maybe the same connector with the other client system. I need to change that particular system, like the salesman two, three, or whatever I need. I can set the default for that particular system. So it only affect that particular system. That's why we have a local here. You can change the color scheme, the language, etc. So that's the settings. And this is the user settings where you can customize your employees' credentials. Like if you want to log the voucher number without editing to this customer, you can just lock it. You can block. So there is few more details like any other transaction. If you want to disable the print preview, it is there. You can enable it, you can disable it. There's many more settings. Also, we have discount limit, like additional discount you can limit, special discount you can limit. For example, 10% is the maximum that this customer can use. Or for special discount, we have 2% maybe. So additional discount for the bill and special discount for the product price. So you can customize his credential. And finally, tools, we have backup option where you can take backup for your for the security purpose. Let's say let's choose yeah, here. I need to create backup. Let's test, save it. That's it. That's how you can take a backup. So if you have that backup, if your system crashed, don't worry, you can restore it if you have it by using the same. Simply type the admin verification in order to restore it. What will happen? That particular backup will replace the existing database in the system. So that's how you can take backup and restore. So we recommend taking regular backup if you want to secure more. So here we have invoice designer. So I will explain how to set the invoice, how to modify it for the transaction. So I will explain it in a different video. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can set from the existing. Yes, when you install the software, you will get all default format for your system. So we have two type of print format setting. One is RDLC, which we are using Microsoft Report Builder to design, and one is Crystal Report. So you can use RDLC or Crystal Report, whichever you need. For RDLC, this is it. You can use the POS. So POS will automatically set the format, but if you want to change it, set the format. This is the location. You can choose C, program files, Atlanta ID solution, Accolyst, ANI print format, mass format. There you can see uh, all the format, all default format, of course. So you can simply select the POS. If you have edited or modified format, you can simply set like this. If you want to modify it, simply click. If you have report builder in your system, you can simply click and it will open the designer. Of course, without designer, you cannot open it. So you can see a POS design here. So I will explain in detail in different video. So this is how you can set. You can change your printer. And if you want to set a crystal report design, it is also possible. Like for example, if you want to set a crystal report, of course, you want to remove this RDLC. Here we have removing option. You can select crystal report, set the format, and you have to use a different folder Crystal report here. You can choose it. So just like this, you can set your own style. So take an example. For example, POS. We set format. Let's set RDLC as the format. Let's choose. Let's again set format. You can choose. Let's say RDLC mass format POS. So once we set any of the transaction, maybe POS, maybe purchase or return, whatever it is, let's say return again. Let's choose sales return if I want to sales return. So the format. Without any editing, let me show you how the print preview look like. So if you want to enable print preview, of course, we need to use for admin also, you have to use show print preview. So in my case, I logged in as admin. So let's open sales return. Sorry, no transaction. Yeah. I'll choose a voucher, just print it. It will preview for you. So this is a default print format. You can modify it. Of course, it's A4 sized. You can export to Excel, PDF, Word, and let's take a POS print. So if you are checking a preview for POS, just print it. You can see just like this. So by default, you will get all the formats in your file location. You have to set. So barcode designer. So we have barcode designer, both the crystal report, external and default designer. If you have a crystal report designer, you can select the design and you can set the printer and you can print it. Once you set the format, of course, we have a barcode printing option here. You can select your product simply and you can add the quantity by considering other details like barcode, batch, unit, whichever you need. So this is a sticker quantity and you can print based on the design you set. So barcode design also I'm covering in a different video. You can check the video in detail. And finally, we have Excel import, which is very useful if you are migrating from another software. You may have closing stock in that software, including your party supply, their balance, everything. We can add, we can input the opening balance and opening stock and all other details of your master, like party, supplier, product, everything here. For example, let's consider supplier. Just create an Excel and you can choose the Excel. For example, here you can click any, you can select any Excel if you want to see the template. So this one you can copy easily by pressing Control C and paste it in your Excel, or you can simply take whichever you need. Like if you want to import like code, name, group, under, these are the mandatory fields. In all of the details, including the opening balance, whatever you need, you can create different column in your Excel and you can import. Let me show you how it looked like a template. I already have one. Okay, so this is it. This is the template which you can see. The same columns I created in Excel. I added code, supplier, and group, which is mandatory. Without code, name, and group, we cannot import. All other are optional. You can add more information. And by creating Excel like this, you can use to choose like this. Now you can see get field, to list everything from Excel. So this is from Excel. You can select code to code, name to name, group under you can choose, and any other you need you can add, you can select, and you can just click start in order to import. It's very easy. So if it is product, of course it is different, like when you select an Excel and when you click get field, you can see this is different. So you can create your own template easy. These are the columns we need, these are the columns we need. And if you want to check which are the mandatory field we need, it is very easy. So for example, if you are importing product, party or supplier, just open the master. For example, supplier. When you click supplier, you can see the star, code, name, group. There is no count in import because it is automatic, as you can see. So you can skip this. These three are important. If you check your product creation window, you can see code, name, and group. These are the mandatory thing we need in Excel. So you have to prepare just like that. You can skip the optional part. You can create the column whichever you need and you can import. So that's import. And finally, we have help here where you can see the details of the software. So these are the fields. These are the features available in Accolyst under Master, Transactions, Report, Settings, and Tools. Like I said, frequently using application or any menus, reports, anything you can add on your desktop. You can close this. You can see the desktop here. So you can remove easily, and you can customize your own desktop. So whenever you log in, you can see this desktop. You don't need to open this if you don't want to. If you already have it in your desktop, easy to access. Simply click, it will open for you. So that's it. That's how the Acqualist works. Thank you for watching the video.